Hi guys, it's Sprout here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we're starting a Wolfquest playthrough and my goodness, I am very determined to continue because Saga's out and I really just want to try to do a whole wolf's life, okay? Y'all keep me to this. Also, I apologize for any Bog fans that are offended at me calling him pathetic, because I think the title's gonna be like, you know, pathetic wolf trying to find a mate or a wife or something like that. And that's because if you've seen the movies that he has in the past, his personality is a little whiny, at least in the very beginning. So if you haven't seen those, you should go watch them now. Pause this, go watch them, at least the first one. But there is going to be spoilers. I'm going to kind of give a recap of what his life has been and like who he kind of is. And that way when I talk about him in the future during this series, like you'll have a good idea about him. So Bog had a sister named Bud, and their mother was Bongo. I don't remember if their pack had an official name, but I do know that all of them were just bee-themed names because, I don't know, why not? And when I was making Bog as a character, the whole kind of concept behind it was like, for him to be kind of whiny, and I think this is what his voice sounded like in the very beginning, because he was like a younger wolf, and then like it got a little bit deeper and he got a little bit less whiny as the series went on, but he would always complain like, I don't want to hunt, or you know, oh, why can't Bud do it, like his sister. And also on top of that, he has a jagged tooth. One of his teeth is jagged. His tail's really crooked, and he also, his howl's very like raspy, and it like the oh, what is it called when it just like kind of breaks in the middle. It's a little sad sounding. So and kind of a running joke with him is that he just like could never find a wife or a partner, and he never did. He stayed with his mom and his sister, and then his sister found a mate named Chestnut, and then they had puppies, but then his sister left, and they didn't know if she left on purpose, she went missing, she was kidnapped, you know, she was murdered, like they weren't sure. So when the puppies were old enough, they all decided to go look for her. And they eventually traveled like really far, and they found like the Makers area, which are humans in my Legends of Blood universe. And if you're watching this for the first time and you're like, what is Legends of Blood? It's like my world that I have built based off of this game. It's my first original series. I have a website. There's like the 3 packs, Gem Pack, Crescent, Sprout. There's like gods, there's lore, etc. So welcome. If you haven't, you should go back and watch my other videos, because they all kind of explain like a little bit, depending on which pack. Where was I going with this? Legends of Blood. Oh yeah, the Makers, that's what I was talking about. So they go to like a town, pretty much like a city where humans were, and they find her, they find Bud, and she is, you know, I can't fully remember because it's like 2 years ago, but I'm pretty sure she felt like really bad for leaving, but she was overwhelmed, and so she, you know, couldn't like handle it, but they convinced her to stay. 2 of the sons were there for sure. We had Bonsai and Beasting. However, now this was like the cliffhanger we left it off on, and it's still like, I don't know, it always felt a little bit unfinished, but so Beasting, like in the middle of the night, wakes, you know, the mom up and is like, hey, you know, you've never been a part of our lives, you've just hurt us, like we don't want you around, I don't want you around, you're just gonna hurt poor Bonsai. And so the mom like leaves again, and like so pretty much when everyone would wake up, like she wouldn't be there. But that's kind of where we like ended that series. So when I was thinking about like which wolves to do the saga with, I was like, you know what, I thought to myself, what young, you know, wolves like do I have that I could continue with, really kind of starting scratch but still having a little bit of backstory. And I was looking through my wolves and I saw Bog, and I was like, you know what? He deserves it. Like, he's been through a lot, and his story, his role play was one of the longest like mini movie ones we did. I'm pretty sure the original one has like the most views out of all of my mini movies. So, you know, he deserves it, and his story was really good, and I think he does. He's always wanted, you know, to be an alpha of a pack. So it's time to give him that chance. So I'm not sure how much talking I'm gonna do in these videos. I'm either gonna ramble like the whole time. I might take some little breaks and then come in during like important story moments, which have already happened. I'm excited to talk about when they happen, but right now he's finding it really difficult to hunt, but he does eventually manage to get this little baby, and it's kind of like the first big kill, successful like hunt kill he's done since leaving, so after I think the last one, I think he does go out and look for his sister. I think that's what he's currently doing right now, is like trying to survive, trying to find his sister, because like obviously either I think Beasting might have like admitted to what he said, you know, and like they had a big fight, and then like I don't know what each character would have done, but I definitely think that Bog would have been like, you know what, I'm going to find my sister. Like, you guys are old enough pups, you know, Chestnut, it's been real, you know, homie, and like he would have just left to go find his sister. So that's what he's doing now. Will he find her? I don't know. Probably not, because I don't know. I think she ran and never just stopped running. I think she is like in a totally different area. So hopefully we can find Bog a nice wife, and he can kind of settle down and fight with Sprout Pack and Gem Pack and Crescent Pack, and eventually make his way. But currently he's fighting some coyotes, which I do have to say how much I love the new kind of like AI, to where this fight felt like pretty legit. These two coyotes were kind of, you know, ganging up on me. They weren't scared of me just by myself. They were nipping at me. It was pretty rude, but let's see how Bog handles this. He decides to leave it, but he's not happy about it. But he is full, and he is hurt, so he doesn't really need to risk. And he kind of watches these other wolves come in and, you know, fight them. And I thought that was so cool. But then those two wolves came for him, and then he suddenly didn't think it was that cool. And that's when he realized that he had went into Gem Pack territory, which this is a great time to talk about the packs, and we can start with Gem Pack. So Gem Pack is a very much a like female-led pack. Their alpha is always a female. They are mostly consisted of like loners or like mothers with pups, but they can stay with their mates, but it's kind of like looked down upon a little bit, at least again in Gem Pack. They're very like sassy, girl boss, you know, gaslight, gatekeep, all that fun stuff. We do eventually name these two Gem Pack wolves, and I won't spoil it yet, but they both turn out to be the alphas. So episode 1, we're already naming the current generation of Gempeg alphas, which is very exciting. Oh yeah, so we ended up naming the male Grave, and I think the female was Royal. It went very, very quickly. I couldn't catch that, but y'all can pause it. So, what I think I'm gonna do is actually probably do speed paint videos and design and like draw some of these other wolves based on like what they look like and also just like their names, you know, because again, I'm really gonna try to commit to this one because I want to do his whole life. I want to do all of his pups. I want all of these wolves in the background to live their whole lives. Like, I'm just, you know, I'm determined. So I think I am going to take the time to kind of like design them in between episodes. And when he finds a wife, if he does, fingers crossed, I will definitely like draw her too. It would be very cute. But yeah, so luckily he made it out of gem pack, more or less unscathed, but they're very angry. They are led by the god, the mother god, and so kind of to explain like how the gods work, it's the original pack of this land was like mother, a father, and a baby. The father came from a like really dedicated wolf pack, but I'm not sure what happened to them. I don't know if there was like a fire and most of them died and he was left, or like some great disaster I think happened. And the mother, she was like a loner. She just had always kind of grown up in a loner group and traveled and didn't really understand pack life. So when they got together, they had one single pup, and that like started their relationship off really badly to where they just didn't think it was going to work. It was only one pup. They weren't very strong. And they also just really disagreed on how to run the pack. The mother wanted it to be like, oh yeah, let's let loners in. That way we can, you know, try to strengthen our numbers and get some territory. While the father didn't want to trust loners and really wanted, you know, wished they had more pups. And we're like, we'll just have more pups and it'll be ours. And like, we'll do it that way. And they would fight all the time, like growling and biting and whatever. And the pup would just always be crying and like hated the conflict and just didn't ever want any conflict. Eventually the mother and father split up. The pup ran away when it was like old enough to survive on its own, and this like caused the parents to just completely break up. So all three wolves went their separate ways. Let me take a breath. Okay. So the mother was like driven to badness and did this whole like blood ritual thing, and she wanted to like bind these wolves together forever, and was like, you know, no matter what, I want the three of us to be a family. I want us to be together, like in this life and the next. And some like outer worldly being like saw this and granted them like eternal life, but as gods. And the three of them were to forever like not lead, but like, you know, govern kind of their packs. So the mother god governs gem pack, the father governs crescent pack, and the pup god governs sprout pack. I know, original, but I kind of all made this up during my first like series, which is about leopard. I also have a website if, you know, you want to see like art of all of them, like the different gods, and I might add it to the video. Probably not though, because it's kind of a long video, especially to edit. Oh, poor Bog. I was really determined to get the first little quest out of the way because I wanted to find wife. I was very excited to like start looking at the new courtship and all the new like things that were in place. Let's see if he can do this. And there we go. Good job, Bog. So yeah, now that he's successfully learned how to hunt, he can start trying to find a mate and doing the whole like courtship trial thing, which it had been so long since I had like done this, although I feel like I didn't do it with Brown because Brown already had a mate that he has had for a while. So Bog, though, who is very hurt at this point, just takes a meat chunk, runs away, and pretty sure we're gonna take a nap here. Yep, here we go. Good job, Bog. Take a nap. Okay, so he wakes up and immediately smells some female wolves, and let's just wish him luck, okay? Because knowing Bog, he's not very like social. He's a little socially awkward. But this other wolf immediately is just kind of like in his face, and he's like, hello? And he picks his meat chunk up like, oh, you know, this is mine. Why, you want my meat chunk? He's real awkward about it, I think. But they're both, like, you know, real sweet looking. We have, like, a darker female and then, like, a lighter gray one. However, both of their diversities are one, so I kind of take that as they don't have, like, that much chemistry. Because obviously, like, Bog wouldn't know about, you know, their genetics, but I think it would just, like, not be a strong natural connection. And he has his poor little limp. This is what I mean when I say he just, you know, kind of looks pathetic, because he's limping with his poor little jagged tooth. I think he might be blind in one eye. I can't actually fully remember. Maybe not. Maybe. But let's go ahead and see how this goes. So as we can see, Bog didn't really get along with either of those two wolves and decided to see what other ladies he could find. Only to realize it's not that easy. I don't know if this was just me being bad at scent tracking and like following the wolves, but we definitely struggle here for a little bit, but fear not, because all of this is not for nothing. So, you know, just keep watching, because we're gonna find a lady. I'm telling you that. Bog is determined. While trying to find a lady, he ran into a group of dispersal males. And, yeah, this, was definitely not what he wanted to find. He was hoping that he could just kind of maybe join them, because at first, he was trying to be pretty nice, and he couldn't tell there was like a lady in amongst them. I think there probably was nearby, but they just were all kind of like fighting over her, and yeah, our poor Bog didn't really stand a huge chance, but he tried to, you know, make his howl heard amongst the others, but his paw was hurting and the other males were not being friendly, and you know, he would try to kind of bite to make himself look tougher, but he wasn't doing very much, and then they would all gang up on him. Poor thing. we end up naming the dispersal male wolves we find. The first two ladies were Penny and Winnie, and then we had Butcher, Hound, Seaweed, and Viper. Those are kind of all the dispersals so far. I think it would be really cool if we saw them again, but you never know. So, still on the hunt for wife. I was very tempted to try to get that rusty bowl, but I knew I should probably focus. And pretty much right in that same area was the scent of a lady. So he said, you know what, the rusty bowl can wait. Let me try to find a wife first. So here we go, fingers crossed. He does find, well, okay, so first he kind of like smells them, but there's also an elk herd right here, and he can't tell exactly like where they are. So he has a little bit of trouble kind of like scenting them while these elk are just very upset and like kicking at him and telling him to get lost. And he's like, look guys, I'm just here to find a wife. I'm not here to eat anybody. But they don't really believe him, understandably so. But eventually he sees these two ladies leaving, and yippee, we found more ladies. One of them immediately catches his attention, which is the 3-star diversity one. Her pelt is just so pretty, and not that the darker pelted one isn't pretty, but he, you know, is like really dark wolf himself, so I think he's kind of more intrigued by wolves that don't look like him, like his reflection. So this other wolf just absolutely he like fell in love with. And I will give a little spoiler what we name her. We do end up, like, you know, getting to name her and do a courtship with her, and we call her Evergreen, which I just think is so cute, and I am so excited to draw her because, oh boy, her personality is so much fun. And I don't want to spoil the courtship process, but let's just say Bog, he fumbles. He fumbles pretty hard at one point, which I actually don't know if we'll even get to in this episode. We'll see, but there's a lot that goes on between Bog and Evergreen, so, you know, grab your popcorn, it's gonna be drama. So these two spend time hunting together. They end up taking something down pretty easily, but then these two other wolves show up and try to take their food. And it was quite a battle, but you know, they decided it wasn't worth their lives, so they didn't, like, you know, chase after them or anything. But let me just tell you that these two, there's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, and I'm very excited to show you guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this so far, and you'll stick around till the end. And next episode, you know, let me know in the comments what your favorite wolf is so far, including the NPCs. If you have any ideas for any of the wolves, I would love, you know, to take y'all's feedback in your comments as I design pretty much all the wolves of this world in this series. And yeah, you know, if you enjoyed, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.